and gentlemen, thank you for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Before we get started, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, so if everybody could please rise. And Councilman Lombardi, could you lead us this evening? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just ask that we remain standing for a moment of silence. In addition to all those servicemen and women who protect us around the world, this week we lost a MAPAC senior, Erin Bentavanga, who most of us have known for a number of years. She was New York State Senate Woman of Distinction in 2014 for her battle with cancer. She endured a lot. She was a role model to many, and just ask that everybody remember her and may she rest in peace. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Frank. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. Thank you at home for watching this evening's Town Board meeting. It's a voting meeting this evening, and the date is Wednesday, February 1st, 2017. And first item on the agenda, for the record, all board members are present with the exception of Councilman Schneider, who has a meeting this evening that he could not reschedule, and he may be joining us later on for our executive session discussions on a personnel matter. We have our town clerk, Ann Spofford, with us this evening, and our Greg Fulchetti all the way down to my left as well. So the first item on the agenda is to accept the town board minutes of January 4th, 11th, and 18th of 2017. I need a motion to accept those. So moved by Councilman Lombardi.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, resolution number 1 this evening is a resolution authorizing execution of a consent to lead agency. Was there something, John?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I can't find number 11.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to find out while we go.
Okay, all right. This is a consent to lead agency for the East of Hudson Watershed Corporation. Councilman Lombardi, would you read number 1, please?
Resolved that upon the recommendation and determination of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., and the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, hereby consents to the East of Hudson Watershed Corporation serving as lead agency for the purpose of New York State Environmental Quality Review for years 6 through 10 stormwater retrofits within the Town of Carmel. And be it further resolved, Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to execute the consent form permitting EOHWC to act in said capacity, a copy of which is on file in the office of the Town Supervisor. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, second resolution is adopting and authorizing execution of a length of service awards program. This is the investment policy for the LoSAP program. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read number 2, please?
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby adopts the Town of Carmel Fire Protection District Length of Service Award Program, LoSAP, investment policy for Mahopac Falls Volunteer Fire Department, Carmel Fire Protection District Number 1, and Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department, Carmel Fire Protection District Number 2, with Glen Falls National Bank and Trust Company, as per said terms, conditions, and objectives of said policy embodied in the forms maintained in the Town of Carmel Supervisor's Office, and be it further resolved that Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to execute the referenced investment policy documents adopted herein. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 3, is a resolution authorizing the renewal of a license agreement with the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read number 3, please?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the renewal of the license agreement with the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers for the Department of Recreation and Parks 2017 Sunset Concert Series at a cost of $341. In form is attached here too and made a part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution authorizing payment for repairs and improvements to Sycamore Park main building. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 4, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Director of Recreations and Parks, James L. Gilchrist, hereby authorizes the payment of $6,855 to Blue Horizon Construction Corp., Mahopac, New York, for repairs performed to the interior of the main building at Sycamore Park in accordance with the invoice dated January 10, 2017. I offer the resolution.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution awarding a bid for police department uniforms. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 5, please?
Whereas the Town Board of Town of Carmel has previously authorized advertisements for the solicitation of bids for police department uniforms for the Town of Carmel Police Department for fiscal year 2017, and whereas such bids were received and opened on January 5th, 2017, and whereas Chief of Police Michael Kazari has recommended the awarding of the bid as set forth hereafter. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board, Town of Carmel, hereby awards the bid for the purchase of police department uniforms to New England Uniform, 356 Main Street, Danbury, Connecticut, the lowest responsible bidder who met specifications. I offer this resolution as read and pre-filed with the town clerk. There's a laundry list of items and the prices next to it.
You don't want to read the laundry list?
No.
Okay. All right, I need a second.
Second.
Second by Susie. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman
Greg
McDonough.
wanted you to.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Just like 10 items.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution authorizing acceptance of a proposal for Town of Carmel police vehicle lighting and equipment. Susie, would you read number 6, please?
Sure, whereas Chief of Police Michael Kazari has previously solicited proposals for the cost of outfitting 2 new Carmel police vehicles with emergency lighting and equipment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Chief of Police Michael Kazari, hereby accepts the proposal of Hudson Valley Safety Lighting, Poughkeepsie, New York, for the installation of lighting and equipment for said equipment at a cost not to exceed $15,543.92, and in accordance with said vendor's proposal dated October 4th, 2016. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Chief of Police Michael Kazari, also hereby accepts the proposal of Island Tech Services, Ronkonkoma, New York, for the installation of mobile data terminals and accessories for the referenced vehicles at a cost not to exceed $12,778.50, and in accordance with said vendor's proposal dated September 12th, 2016. And be it further resolved, the Town Supervisor, Kenneth Schmidt, is hereby authorized to sign any and all documentation necessary to accept the proposal on the terms authorized herein. And be it further resolved, the Town Comptroller, Marion Maxwell, is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci and Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution authorizing entry into a lease agreement for GPS tracking equipment. This would be for the Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 7, please?
Whereas the Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone has previously solicited proposals for the cost of outfitting Town of Carmel Highway Department vehicles with GPS tracking equipment. Now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby accepts the proposal of Track Manager, Syracuse, New York, for the lease of GPS tracking equipment for up to 33 Town of Carmel Highway Department vehicles at a monthly cost not to exceed $733.50, and in accordance with said vendor's proposal dated December 13, 2016. And be it further resolved, the Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to sign any and all necessary documentation to accept the proposal on the terms authorized herein. And be it further resolved that Town Controller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer the resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, second by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution acceptance of a proposal for the purchase of boiler pumps for Carmel Sewer District Number 2. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 8, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Sewer District Number 2 and pursuant to recommendations of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby accepts the proposal of Suco Fuel Oil, Inc., Mahopac, for the purchase and installation of 2 boiler pumps at Carmel Sewer District Number 2 wastewater treatment plant, sand filter building at a cost not to exceed $8,850 in accordance with said vendor's proposal dated January 12, 2017, and be it further resolved, the Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to sign any and all documentation necessary to accept the proposal of the terms authorized herein, and be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the costs of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, second by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 9, is a resolution authorizing entry into a memorandum of agreement. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read number 9, please?
Sure.
Tell Dearman to turn the TV up. He's watching.
Oh, I think he just heard you. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby ratifies and accepts the revised memorandum of agreement between the Town of Carmel and the Town of Carmel Lieutenants Benevolent Association dated February 1st, 2017, for the period of January 1st, 2017 through December 21st, 2023, which is attached here too. The memorandum of agreement has been approved by the employees in the Lieutenants Benevolent Association, and based upon such approval, the Town Board hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to execute a collective bargaining agreement consistent with the terms of this memorandum of agreement. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Schneider.
Read 30.
Shouldn't it be?
Yeah.
That should just, Suzie, that should read December 31?
Where?
2000
Oh, did I
and-
say it wrong?
No,
No, it's
it was
on-
typo.
Oh, December 31st,
As amended?
as amended, 2023.
I second the amendment.
Okay, second amendment by Councilman Lupinacci. So roll call vote with the amendment to the resolution.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. And I want to thank Councilman Lupinacci and Councilman Lombardi for negotiating on behalf of the town with the Lieutenants Benevolent Association for negotiating this agreement. It seems that it was a good result. The town got some, and the Lieutenants Benevolent Association, felt that they had a, good agreement as well. So I think both sides, both parties, felt it was a fair and reasonable agreement, and see, here tonight, we're ratifying the MOA, we're approving it. So thank you, John, and thank you, Frank, for negotiating on behalf of the town. And thank the Lieutenants Benevolent Association, Lieutenant Dearman,
Yes.
for negotiating on behalf of the Lieutenants Union, the Union of One. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is a resolution, I'm not even going to read all this, because Frank, you're going to read it anyway. It's a subject to a permissive referendum, purchase maintenance vehicles for the Highway Department, not to exceed $300,000. Frank, would you read number 10, please?
Whereas the capital project herein described as proposed has been determined to be a Type 2 action pursuant to the regulations of New York State Department of Environmental Conservation promulgated pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act, which regulations state Type 2 action will not have any significant adverse impact upon the environment. And whereas it is now desired to authorize such capital project and its financing, Now therefore be resolved, Town Board of Town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, as follows. Number one, the purchase of maintenance vehicles for the Highway Department in and out for the Town of Carmel, Putnam, New York, each item of which is $30,000 or over, including incidental equipment and expenses in connection therewith, is hereby authorized at a maximum estimated cost of $300,000, subject to permissive referendum. It is hereby determined that the plan for financing thereof is by issuance of $30,000 bond of said town is hereby authorized to be issued therefore pursuant to the provisions of local financing law. Where's the term? The faith and credit of said Town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, are hereby irrevocably pledged for payment of the principal and interest of said bonds, and the same respective become due and payable. This resolution shall constitute a statement of official intent for purposes of Treasury Regulations, Section 1.150-2. The validity of such bonds and bond anticipation notes may be contested only if, number one, such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which the town is not authorized to expend money, or the provisions of law which should be complied with at the date of publication of this resolution are not substantially complied with, and at action, suit, or proceeding consistent such validity is commenced within 22 days after the date of publication, or three, such obligations are authorized in violations of provision of the Constitution. This resolution is adopted subject to permissive referendum. I offer this resolution as partially read and pre-filed with the town clerk.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we have one more resolution, number 11. This is a resolution authorizing to advertise for bids. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 11, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, pursuant to the request of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby authorize Town Clerk Ann Spofford to advertise for bids for purchase and acquisition of the Town of Carmel Highway Department vehicles and equipment consisting of the following: 2 Ford F-550 4x4 six-wheel trucks with stainless steel dump bodies equipped with sander salt spreader and with a 9-foot Fisher snow plows. 3 Ford F-350 4x4 pickup trucks with stainless steel utility bodies equipped with 9-foot Fisher snow plows. Be it further resolved that the highway superintendent is to furnish detailed specifications for the above to the town clerk to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, that completes, yes,
If we could just, one thing, just remind the public on number 10,
Yeah.
that even though, we mentioned it last week, even though we are authorizing to borrow $300,000, does not necessarily mean that we have to borrow $300,000, because we do have some from savings over the last couple budget cycles.
we put away in the reserves.
Yes.
Some of that may be used.
Or all.
Or all of it.
Or all of it,
or-
and then we'll borrow whatever is
The
remaining
remainder.
of that, yes.
Right.
So we authorized 300, but doesn't mean that we have to borrow the 300.
Yes, thank you, John, for explaining that. You're correct. Thank you.
And then, Kenny, I have one more item here, if you don't mind.
No.
I'd like to make a motion to take off the table and put on the floor for a vote the local law number 1 concerning amendment to the Town of Carmel Code, Chapter 37. I'm sorry, local law number 2, apologies. Local law number 2 of 2017 concerning amendments for the alarm device and systems.
Take it off, second, get a second,
Yeah.
take it off table?
Yes.
Vote that.
Yeah, it's seconded. The only thing I was going to mention, John, is did you want to hold off on this until Councilman Schneider is here to vote on it?
It's just going to take 3, so.
I just don't know if,
I hear you, it's just going to take 3, so. I would
yeah,
just-
is there three? 'Cause if
I
it's
think
not
there's gonna,
three-
I think there's gonna be three. Unless we could
Get a
surprise
motion
it.
and a second to take it off the table.
Oh, Councilman, yeah, Frank did. Frank seconded it.
Okay, so you're gonna vote to take it off?
All in favor of taking it
Yeah,
off?
yeah. Do we need a roll call, or we could do it all in favor?
You know,
All in favor?
All in favor to take it off?
Favor.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so all four town board members voted to take it off the table.
Right, so then you want to offer it as noticed and published.
I'd like to,
Next motion, if that's what you want to do it.
I hereby offer local law number 2 as advertised and published.
second that motion.
Okay.
Chapter 37, entitled Alarms.
Chapter 37, entitled Alarm Devices and Systems.
Okay, all right. All right, so with that, Ann, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Of course. Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
I abstain. So it carries 3 yeses and 1 abstention. Okay, so that completes the agenda items for this evening's town board meeting. Is there any members of the public that would like to come up and speak on any agenda items that we covered this evening? Okay, there being none, we're going to go to the new business portion of the meeting. This is the open forum where you can address the board on any town matters, any town concerns you may have. You must be a resident, taxpayer, or a property owner, business owner to speak at this portion of the meeting. Okay, there being none, announcements. The only announcements that I have are I'm going to announce that we've been very busy lately. There seems to be a lot of events and functions that the town board has attended since last Friday. And last Friday's event that we attended was at the Centennial Golf Club, where the Putnam County Emerald Society had their induction ceremony for the parade marshal, Grand Marshal, for the St. Patrick's Day Parade that's going to be held on March 12th. That's Father Joe Tierney was inducted. He's currently the president of Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx, but he was formerly a priest over at St. John's for, I think, 6 or 8 years. So he was well-known in the community, very involved in the Emerald Society, and therefore they nominated him and inducted him as the Grand Marshal. So we'll see Joe Tierney, Father Tierney, on March 12th on Route 6 leading the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And on Saturday, there were 2 events. The Italian-American Club of Mahopac had their ceremony for swearing in of their new officers for the Italian-American Club for 2017. I know members of the town board attended that event as well. But on the same night, the Mahopac Fire Department had their installation of officers at the Villa Barone, which we attended as well. And I had the pleasure, and I was honored to swear in the administrative and the firematic officers for the fire department for 2017. So that was Saturday. Sunday, was there anything Sunday?
No, last night.
Last night, yeah. Monday night there was a meeting, and last night the Mahopac Carmel Chamber of Commerce had their 2016 Business Persons of the Year Award ceremonies. And the recipients that received the Business Person of the Year for 2016, Mike and Bill from the Mahopac Florist Shop. They're such great guys, both of them, Mike and Bill. They're wonderful, so well-deserved. Tom O'Leary from the UPS store up here on Route 6. And Robert DeLucia, who owns a company called Local Junk Boys Junk Removal Services. And I believe he was also the owner of Picker's Paradise for a while. I'm not sure if he's still involved in that or not. So we've been very busy. The community's been busy. We've been busy attending all of these functions, and it was an honor and privilege to be at all of them. And congratulations to all the recipients and those who will be inducted for the Grand Marshal for the parade. Does anybody else have any other announcements?
No.
Frank, you have anything? No? Okay. We do have one executive session item that Councilman Schneider, I believe, is going to be joining us for. It's a personnel matter. So we're going to be closing the meeting from executive session. We're not coming back out here for that. I need a motion to close, go into executive
So
session.
moved.
So moved by Councilman.
Second.
Second by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you here next week for a town board work session.